welcome to episode 56 of TerrorVision Horror Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Dan McGuinness, and joining me on my midnight meat train is my co-host, Jennifer the Dream Warrior Strand. Every week we take one horror movie and we cut it to pieces with our internet words. Together we are two people with a love of horror and we feel the burn of our obsolete Blockbuster membership cards. We would just like to thank all of our listeners who support us over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, the YouTube, etc., etc., etc. We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us. And a special shout out to the people who interact with us over on the social medias and help us out to grow. People like Mark of the Dam, Ambivalent Hoax, Death Valley Funerals. Man.
So good.
Billy Cutshaw, Adam Gillespie, and Ringo Starlin. Just a couple of people who have, coerced with us, chatted, and done some shit with us this week.
Ambivalent Hoax also really should do some movie reviews because always interacts with us and gives us this spiel of what
we said wrong?
No. Like, his take on it, and I sit there and I'm like, fuck, that's good.
All right, let's move straight into the Spoilercast part of the show. Yes, that's just it. Now, I don't have to go through this. This is the show now. But basically what it is, it's a deep dive into glorious gore, hard edits, cheesy acting, director's madness, severed wangs, and compound fractures. We're basically just going to talk about one film that we watched this week.
Getting into it.
And we've got a rating system. What is it, Jim?
Oh, well. Thanks for asking. So for all of the playing at home, we've got A, awesome, everybody should watch. B is our beer and chicken wing group movie. F is for fun and dumb. C is a classic that's worth a watch. U is underrated. O, an overrated motherfucker. G, good for its time, but it's definitely not held up. We've got the J, Jen special. The D, Dan special. We've got the W, whatever. Pfft. We've got the Kesha, which is a low-budget hot mess. C-, craft is stellar, but I hate the content. And the cream of the crap, the McConaughey. It's the fucking fucked. We watched it, so you really don't have to.
Yeah, it's the worst of the scum shit.
The bottom of the barrel.
And this week, by my choice, was Demons 2 from 1986, or known as Demoni.
Demoni. You have to get that accent up. Demoni.
To actually find this online, a lot of the time, you actually have to write Demoni.
Yes.
But because you write Demons 2 and nothing comes up.
Well, Demons 2 comes up with the Night of the Demons
movie.
movie.
Which is that time when I accidentally watched that instead of this, and I was like, this is whack.
Imagine if you'd have done that and you'd have sat down and we're like, okay, and then it's two different films that we've got, and we'll be like,
we fucked
okay.
It.
That's fine. It is directed by Lamberto Bava, who is also a very famous Italian horror director. The screenplay by Dario Argento, Lamberto Bava, and Franco Farini.
So many classy men.
So many classy.
So many sexy chiseled men. Dark-haired men.
Dark and chiseled Italian men.
Hairy chests. Run through your hands like a bear forest.
Yes. It stars David Edwin Knight, Bobby Rhodes, and the Asia Argento, which is her debut role in this. Debut role in this, and she, of course, is Dario Argento's daughter.
Yeah. We don't know how much it cost, do we?
No, I don't have any information regarding budget and box office because obviously it's Italian, so whatever release it had here would have been in like a very like one-off screening in some...
What money do they use in Italy?
It's lire? I don't know if that's what they still use because of all the
stuff.
Yeah, is it all euros now? I don't know.
What's its vital statistics?
All right, the Nightmare...
Oh, no, that was its vital statistics. What's its...
The synopos.
Its tag name.
The tag names, the Soppos. The Nightmare returns. A group of tenants and visitors are trapped in a 10-story high-rise apartment building infested with demons who proceed to hunt the dwindling humans down.
Isn't that accidentally the... Isn't that just what happens in Evil Dead, the new Evil Dead?
I was like, yeah, this is basically the premise for the new Evil Dead film.
I wonder if it is a homage from it.
Well, a lot of the time people homage, and I'll use that with some quotation marks.
As in copy.
Yeah.
As in no cunt's going to remember this. Let's just fucking go with it.
It's Italian. So you play on the fact that most Americans, sorry guys, are ignorant and they won't watch films that have subtitles or are in black and white.
That's not most Americans. There's some. the loud-mouthed Americans
Yeah.
are like that. They're still like the majority.
Look, I had it when I
There's
worked
plenty
at-
of Australians like that.
Oh, please don't get me wrong. Yes, there are. I remember working in the video shop, and I had a guy return Sin City because it was in black and white, and then I had a guy come back and not want to watch Seven Samurai because it was foreign, and he had to read subtitles.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's move into it
yeah.
straight in. So it opens with power goth synth.
Oh my god, the soundtrack to this is amazing.
I'm gonna play it over right now. It's like this really rad, like really modern sound. Yeah, everyone's into synth wave and 80s synth wave at the moment. It sounds like that.
Yes.
It's like, but with this power goth, like, you know, like, woo, 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 like that kind of shit.
So this is 1986, which means we're in like well into that new wave, like goth kind of sound with the post-punk era. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it had this like, but it has this really modern sound to it, really disjointed, like, which I really like in my music, like trying to add a bit of, you know, like anxiety to the piece. And then we get some voiceover with the guy basically relays the first film.
Yeah,
it's
and
weird.
It's basically like he's predicting. So this foretelling of the demon rising, and it was like it happened in a movie theater, and blah, 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 blah. Demons can exist, guys. Which is basically setting you up for...
I'm just going to say, I got confused with this film. I didn't understand how the demons came back. And I'm like, what's going on now? Who's win-win? And yeah, so it opens like, you know, we get a shot of like some bloody knife and all that. And then we find out it's a chef. Oh, look, it's not blood. It's jam.
It's jam.
Because, you know, you cut jam with a knife all the time.
Yeah.
Because it was on a knife. And I was like, what sort of fucking chef are you, mate? And then we see he's making a cake.
Yep.
He's writing like "Happy Birthday, Sally" on it. He can't write.
He can't. He is
That
not.
is not a bloody dessert chef.
That is the kind of cake that I have 100% made my mother and just written poorly.
Yeah.
It's like in The Simpsons with Mr. Burns welcoming Homer to the country club with his terrible cake. Yeah.
So then we're like, okay, cool. There's like some party going on.
Yeah, so we get this really cool shot of all the food, and I literally, as soon as I'm looking at all this food that's laid out on the table, I'm like, Dan and I can eat none of this.
Yeah.
That sucks, and it all looks so good.
But then we like cut to some bloke and a girl like waiting for an elevator. So we're in the high rise now. Yep. Straight away, bang, in there. We got a suitman. I called him the bloke.
I called him Clark Kent because so I referred to him throughout the whole film as Clark.
He also he transitions into Ash from
he
Evil
does,
Dead.
And I say that as well. So he's waiting for an elevator, and this leggy blonde also waiting for the elevator. They kind of eye each other off, as you do. They jump into the elevator, and we get this like weird sort of cut between them and another group of kids kind of playing like just some shenanigans.
There's like some crazy teens
like
pressing the stop button in the elevator when they're in it, and they're all going, wow, we're teens, motherfuckers.
How's about you just don't do that? Huh?
Yeah, then we cut to, because there's a whole bunch of characters that cuts to really quick. Now we're cutting to like a girl who I named Preggers. So we got a pregnant lady.
Yes.
She's doing a bit of yoga. She is like, I'm just going to cut for her. She is like with the bloke or Clark Kent. They're a couple. So she's in it now. So we've got this lady. It kind of just introduces a whole bunch of people in different rooms.
Yeah, we run through. So the whole film takes place in this high-rise building. So while most characters aren't like main, they are fodder. So we're very much introduced to all these people.
Yeah, you're basically getting introduced to the fodder. Then like, you know, Beefcake Clark Kent bloke comes home. You're like, hello, baby. I'm home. And then we cut to the best room in the building, the gym.
Oh, my God. I love this.
The Gym. So it's full of just beefcake dudes in shirts, like muscle, like full 80s muscle men just going, come on. And then we got the guy from the first film.
Yes.
Is he the same character?
He's not the same character. So he played Tony the Pimp in the first film, and I actually didn't catch his name in this. So I
just called him the PT, like, because he's the personal trainer. He's like there going, come on, keep your back straight.
Yeah.
And he's like, so he's a big black man.
There's a lot of homoeroticism.
Yeah.
Like,
it's wicked. Cause
we're talking 80s shorty shorts, tank tops, and oil.
I've developed this massive love for that muscle culture from the 80s now. I just think it's hilarious and awesome.
Yes. No, 100%. And I, despite being a very gay lady, am obsessed with the male crop.
What's
so you
a
know
crop?
how all the men had
crop
in the
tops?
80s wear the crop top? I'm obsessed with that.
I've been known to wear a crop. like for fun once or twice.
I feel that out of everything that everyone has brought back into the fashion world, this needs to come back.
You've mentioned like you
I
want crop tops
have.
back before. I don't understand why you want it.
I don't know either.
Anyhow, we cut to another building now, and it's like Sally's place. You know,
Yeah.
Sally with the cake. So that whole scene
Yeah.
was irrelevant. That
Well-
did not have to be in at the cake bit.
It's foreshadowing.
It never, ever. Anyhow, they're having, Sally is a teen. She's having a party.
It's her birthday.
Yeah, it's her birthday.
It's great.
They're
This-
teens, but they're all dressed in suits.
Well, I think that was the style at the time, wasn't it? Like the,
So they're all
the
like-
suits
like,
and the very
uh-huh.
thin, yes,
With
with the rolled up sleeves and stuff. Like,
yeah, it was all like that. So they're partying around. Sally can't fucking get dressed. She's an idiot. She's in her bedroom. The party's happening and she's still getting dressed and she's having a bloody hissy fit.
I gotta say, I really hate Sally. Like, I hate her so bad because she's
Well,
just
she's the perfect person to turn into a demon because she's so like angry and angsty and selfish.
very much so. So she's like, my hair's not right. My dress is it sucks.
My dick.
It's like she's just basically having this massive tantrum, and also for a teen, she does look like she's in her mid to late 20s.
Yeah, and then like this is where it starts to confuse me.
Yeah.
Suddenly the TV, everyone kind of it kind of cuts between all the people turning on their TV in the apartment building, and there's shows on.
Yeah.
and it's basically the end of the first film.
Yeah.
It's where, if anyone can remember, it like the demons got out, the whole world went post-apocalyptic, and it's got the guys like from the first film driving in their Jeep at the end, and I'm like, okay, so bit weird, but then so I figured this must be set after the demon apocalypse has happened, and they've got hold on it, and they've like, is that what happened?
I honestly...
And they've walled off the city in one part of it, so these people are living normally now because they've dealt with the demon apocalypse. They've walled it off. They trumped it.
Yeah.
They trumped the demons in. But I don't know if that's the case.
No, neither do I, because it seems like so this sequence happens between everyone in this high-rise watching this happen. So someone's narrating it. So we think that all these people are sitting down and watching a documentary, but then we go
It's even like
into that documentary,
yeah,
and
it's
then
like a
we're
trailer.
watching it.
It's like a track because it's like a guy's narrating going, demons, they could be anywhere. You could be a demon. Your neighbor could be a demon.
Your dog.
Your dog's dick could be a demon. Yeah, but yeah, so you're just confused at this point. You're just like, okay, so everyone's kind of watching this show about demons.
Yeah.
It's like they're watching the first film, but it's a trailer of the first film, but it also is a whole show. Because it goes forever. It goes for the whole film.
It goes on for a while.
Yeah, so that was just confusing. The whole building's watching it. We cut to a little boy. Oh my God, how good is this scene? Just out of the blue, it cuts to a new character, which is this little boy. He's probably like 10,
Yeah.
8,
Yeah.
7. He's a little kid, and the phone rings. He answers the phone, and he's like, he has the worst phone conversation ever. He's like, because we can't hear what's on the other side.
No.
It's like, hello? No, my dad's not home. No, my mother's not home either. I'm a home all alone. Yes, goodbye.
He's like,
And
no,
hangs up.
why? Like, they tell you, your parents tell you, because this is the 80s, so you as a 10-year-old would just get left at home if your mum
Did
had
that
to go
happen?
to
'Cause
the
I
shop.
thought it was really weird.
No, I used to get left home all the time.
I never did.
I think when I was like 13, maybe 14, my parents went on a whole holiday without me, and it was just me in the house by myself
Weird.
for like a week. It was fine, but it's the 80s. It's safe. It's fine. You're in an apartment building. There's security. There's all this stuff. So this kid would have been able
There's
to be there.
neighbours and shit
But
like
you
that.
tell
Yeah.
your kids, if anyone calls, you don't tell them you're at home. You just be like, no, mother's in the shower, or she's just hanging out the washing. She'll call you
Or
back.
just don't answer the phone.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, but anyhow, so it sets up like, okay, the kid's alone. I thought it was weird.
Yeah.
And then we cut into the TV show that's playing on, and it's just like as if it's another film. Now
Yeah.
we're watching the people in the show as if we're not watching the show. It's just they're in there. And they're like teens. There's a bunch of teens. They're breaking into the forbidden zone.
Yeah, so I'm under the impression that they're investigating. So
Yeah.
they're there to investigate, not just to go and have a good time. They're there to sort of like find some kind of proof or something to bring back.
I think it's that the first film exists in this world,
Yeah.
and it was so evil, the film, the concept of the demons, that it just produced a second film, which we're watching, which is a way for the demons to escape into our reality, which is the high-rise reality.
Yeah.
You know, we're in this state. It's the forbidden zone. It's like post-apocalyptic. And you can tell with the forbidden zone is like, it's from the first film. I think it's my idea where they've walled off the demons. They're in there. There are a bunch of teens getting photos and they're like, do you know how much demon stuff is worth? Look, here's a demon claw. Let's go buy some milkshakes. So as you can imagine, they fucking just walk around. They find a dead demon. I'm just going to skip through this.
That's fine.
They're walking around and looking through that place.
So one of the girls also at some point, she like cuts herself. She's like climbing a fence and she just nicks herself on the fence.
And we all know that that's demonology.
That is
101.
demonology.
We cut to Preggers and the blokey bloke Clark Kent. They're doing a bit of like, he's just studying for some bullshit.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant to the plot.
He's studying for a test. She's already done the test, passed the test. And she's like, well, if I can do it 3 months pregnant, you can do it now.
And like, how has it been 3 weeks pregnant she was.
Oh, was
like,
it?
Yeah, it wasn't like, that doesn't even mean you're pregnant. Like, you know, that doesn't affect you that much.
No, it's still just swimming around in you.
We cut back to the party. Teens are dancing. It's the shittest party in the world.
But the best soundtrack.
Yeah, it does have a good soundtrack, this film.
She's now, like, Sally has finally come to her shit and she's having fun. She's having fun, like, dancing around and stuff like that. We cut back to the fucking...
Forbidden Zone movie. They find a claw on the ground. They put it in a sandwich bag for later, to eat later. And that's all we see there. We cut back to the party. Sally has a meltdown.
She does because
Jake.
some dude answers the phone and he's
Yeah,
like, huh? What? Yeah. Downstairs. Right. Bye. She's like, who was that? He's like, oh, it was Jacob. She's like, what? You Jacob? He can't come to the party. Beep, 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 beep. Tantrum and goes into the room. And she's like, everyone needs to leave now.
She's listened to too much Morrissey, which I'm pretty sure was playing.
Fucking hell.
There was Morrissey just crank. Was it Morrissey? I think it was.
Probably was.
Yeah, and then it just keeps cutting to people watching this Forbidden Zone thing, which is, I think, that Asia Argente lady. There's like a family sitting down just watching it.
So little girl. Yeah.
Yep.
But it's just so strange because I don't even know how to describe how this is happening here because as well, like, there's a point where we're sort of cutting between all these things. You know, we hear there's a woman who's in an apartment who has a dog. So
that's who we cut to next. There's a new character. So dog lady and dog are those characters.
So this woman sitting there, she's
like a scruffy dog.
Yeah, she's like a shaggy dog.
Shaggy dog.
She hears this scratching at the door. She gets up. She goes.
She looks in the spy hole.
There's nothing there.
No, she looks in the spy hole, and the dog's face is there. She goes, "It's my dog," and opens the door, and it's just on the ground. I'm like, how fucking tall is that dog?
Well, dogs on their hind
it's like
legs,
someone was holding the dog up to the spy hole, but like, that's a fucking tall dog. So now we got like lady and a dog. Okay.
But what I enjoy, what we don't mention in the party scene is after Sally's gone and had a tantrum, gone back to her room, the guy that's answered the phone has been instructed by Sally's best mate to go downstairs. So he goes downstairs and he leaves the apartment building to wait for this Jacob guy to rock up so he can be like, nah, bro, you can't come in because we don't have mobile
is that
phones.
what he's supposed to be doing? I thought he was just going to usher them in.
No,
it's irrelevant anyway.
It is and it isn't, and I'll get into that.
All right.
Yeah.
And cut back to the Forbidden Zone. The teens in the Forbidden Zone fuck around with some more shit for a while. They're looking in the dusk, being like all like fucking Nancy Drew, looking for shit.
Yeah, they end up finding like an abandoned car, and then
the dude just puts to the radio.
He just turns the radio just works.
He goes, dude, it still works, and then start partying.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, you're great. You're the best people in the world.
Now the girl who has just nicked herself on a thing, it's not a nick, it's a fucking gash in her hand, and it starts dripping blood onto a mirror. She picks up there's like one drop of blood on a mirror.
No, I didn't even watch that bit.
You didn't. That's fine. She picks up the mirror. She has a look. She gets this weird like startle. She's got this demon reflection back at her.
No sense. Doesn't make any sense.
That does not make sense. And then they're like, hey, demon. He's like, oh, but what is that? He's like, it's a demon.
Yeah, so they find a demon all dead and dried up and like under a girder.
Yeah, so it's trapped under a girder, the detailing to this as well, because it's like, it's still there. It's not skeletal or anything. It's just like a
dried up
husk. Its claws have broken off because it was trying to obviously move the girder. So there's a lot of attention to detail here, which is
look
great.
good. They all get together and pose a photo around it. And of course, Bloodhand, idiot fucking Bloodhand lady, drips blood into the demon's mouth.
Who's just not noticing that she's just you know,
exiting gallons of blood.
It's not even
She's
dripping.
Like, let's selfie. Just pouring out. And we get some cool effects now. Like we see the demon, the veins start pumping. Like all practical effects of these veins start pumping in this like corpse. We see some stop motion regeneration, like of the face. Like, they don't notice it. They're still getting their fucking photos.
Yeah, it's the 80s, so it's like you got to stand still for 30 minutes. Just hold the pose.
And then the demon fucking jumps up. They all just look at it, and instead of running or moving, they all just stand there and scream.
Yeah.
Ah!
It's alive! And then so it frees itself. A group of them kind of stand off in the corner, and it focuses on the bloody girl, and it takes chase. It chases her, gets
grabs her shoulder.
In between that, we're sort of cutting between all the people sort of watching this at home. The others, like
Sally's watching it in her bedroom.
Yeah, because she's still having a tantrum. The investigating kids, they take this opportunity. Oh, our friend's being eaten alive. Yep, let's just leave. So
that's the end of the investigating kids.
Yeah.
That's the end of that whole storyline. It's just like, okay. So we see Sally pouting in her room going, shit. Because Jacob got mentioned.
And I cry if I want to.
And she's sitting there and she decides to start watching the demon show. And then suddenly the demon from in the TV show looks around and sees Sally watching it.
This is cool. I like this because there is this voiceover. So we're under the impression that there is a camera crew there filming this demon.
Or is there?
And it's like, blood nurtures the dormant seed of evil. And of course, it's like the demon, it's like zombie walking out. And then it kind of turns to the TV and looks at the camera and just sort of starts like just walking towards. But we also get this amazing POV shot
from
of
the zombie,
the demon.
Yeah, seeing her looking into the screen.
So it's like this box sort of.
It's like a 4:3 screen that she's looking into. It's like the reverse effect. Yeah.
Which I really like. Like, this was amazing. Like, that's clever.
And then the demon just basically runs up to the screen and pushes his face out of the screen. Now, this effect is amazing. This is like latex rubber on the screen. So there's an actual person pushing their face through it. And then they're projecting. I can only assume that's how they did it. They're projecting the image onto the latex. So it looks like a TV screen mushing out. But the picture of the face is projected on there. So it's like this really cool effect.
Yeah,
and I was
looks
like,
really cool.
Dang.
And everything sort of starts flashing. So it's like, this horrific sort of flashing. Sally, this whole time, she's just kind of like,
she's like, the fuck?
She's not doing anything. And then she kind of just starts to freak out a little bit and somehow has locked herself in her room. She can't get out.
Yeah, there's a couple of maybe he's not there. And then, bam!
Yeah.
Demon jumps out, grabs
Pretty
Sally. Much. And then we hear an off-screen kind of like scream thud. We cut back to the party. They've bought the birthday cake out for the birthday girl.
They still haven't realised that she's not there, though.
Yeah, they're like, hey, where is Sally? Go get Sally from her room. Sally! They get Sally out. She comes out, and we're like, she's fine.
This is another really cool shot, though, because it's
like... This is another vein arm?
Well, there is the vein arm, but it's this shot of the birthday cake. So we get this, like, the shot of the birthday cake in the foreground, and in the background, because the lights are out, her bedroom door opens. We're obviously getting the light from the TV as her silhouette comes out. She's kind of standing there, and she kind of walks over. That looked really cool. Like, that in itself was just really well done. And she walks towards it. She kind of, like, puts her head down. No demon face. She looks fine. She's sniffing the candles, but you see the veins pulsating.
Yeah, in her arm. So that's why I like the practical effects of her arm on the table and her veins pulsate. So they've got like a whole latex layer with some just like veins that pulse under it. There's a lot of veins in this film, which I don't think anyone else really does that much. But both the demons have done veins.
They focus on that quite a lot. And then she blows out the candles. and immediately kind of like hunches over in pain, grabs the guy's
next to
her and starts like digging her claws, which are now sort of like her claws are starting to come out of her nail
It didn't show
beds.
the old fingernails coming off like in the first one.
No, but it does show
The teeth.
Oh no!
In the first film,
hated
the transformations, they didn't just have giant spiky teeth. Like the actual demon teeth pushed their way through and pushed the other teeth out. And they do this again, but I don't think they did it as well as in the first one.
Look, they don't, but it was still done to an extent that I was like, oh no, I hate it. I hate it so much. This is great. That I hate teeth stuff. I hate teeth falling out. I hate no.
Anyway, Sally transforms into a demon. She gets that stereotypical kind of green slimy face with the big teeth, the eyes. Starts by scratching up the whole fucking party.
Yeah, she just goes on a rampage.
And then, that's about it, really. Then we cut to some family eating dinner al fresco.
Yeah, it was Sally's parents.
Yeah, but they were waiting for her. She's clearly not coming. That's her night of the party.
So they had gone out to dinner so that she could have her party. So they're basically out.
Oh, they live with her.
Yeah, they're Sally's parents.
Oh.
So they're out for dinner with them. They're just out for dinner because
it's
so
totally
she can
unnecessary
be
to
at
scene.
home.
Do you know? At no point I was like, "Hang on, but where are the parents?"
This is it's not
And
relevant.
then it cuts to them going to like a German sausage festival, and I'm like, "Why is this in this?"
Right, so we too can know that in Italy they have cool German sausage festivals, and I would like to go to there.
And then we cut to Preggers and fucking Clark Kent blokey man.
Mm-hmm. They finished up dinner. They can hear the music, so they can hear the music from the party.
And they're like, Sally's going having a party.
It's like, Sally's still going hard. She's like, I wonder if they brought the cake out yet. And he's just like, pregnant cravings? Like,
cake?
She's like, she just wants a bit of cake.
She's not even that pregnant, I just like to put into this. Like, she's only like half pregnant. Like, she's not about to have a baby. She's only like, it's like a small paunch.
I don't know pregnancy.
Pregnant gets pretty big. That was like a halfway through pregnancy. Yeah.
Okay. She goes over to Sally's house and she's
like, I don't want to miss out on the party.
No, she basically just wants to eat a piece of cake. So she invites herself over to Sally's. She knocks on the door. There's no answer. We get the shot of Sally inside. She's like,
everyone's dead.
Everyone is kind of dead around her, but she's like listening to Morrissey or something, doing that like weird like sway dance that the goth kids do.
Yeah, and then the party starts, like, because, they've all been attacked by demons. They all start to transform into demons. And you're like, cool, demon party.
Yeah.
And then she kind of, like, has, like, a fit. And she starts, like, excreting, like, gore, blood, black blood shit everywhere. Which I thought this was cool. Like,
yeah.
Because the demons are supposed to be foul.
Yeah.
And they kind of are coolly foul in these two demon movies. They're cooler. Like, you don't want to be them. You don't even want to touch them. They seem like they're diseasey, which I think is really hard thing to do.
Yeah, definitely.
She starts, like, sweat blooding, like oozing shit out. This ooze hits the ground. It starts to melt through the floor. And we can only assume that this party is on the top floor.
Yeah, wouldn't it be?
And yeah, so this is how a lot of the people in the building now start to get affected. That basically the demons, I think they all wake up and start to fucking goop out. Yeah. They all start to like, and basically the demon chud gross shit, it just starts melting down through all the floors in the thing. And I'm like, cool idea.
Yeah.
I like that, And it's got
because
lots of shots of like, they've clearly just got like foam and put like petrol on it. And it's like,
yeah, no, it looks amazing. It's very well done. Preggers goes back to her house, sends Clark over because obviously, like, she still needs that piece of cake. But then we see that the blood drips through from the roof into the next apartment. And we once again see that the blonde woman, who was a prostitute, a
lady of the night,
a sex worker, and she's leaving her, I'll call him her John. And he kind of like looks up and, what is that?
the ceiling.
Something in the ceiling, isn't it, right?
Yeah, I didn't understand that she was a sex worker to this hardly until the last second when she's like, "Oh, have you finished your client already?"
No, like as soon as she walked out of the elevator and greeted him, I was like, oh yeah.
I didn't get that.
She's there. It's
She's
business.
a high-paid lady.
It's business time. We cut down to, I'm guessing, close to the gym floor, which is on the lower ground.
No, we get a whole bunch. I'm just going to skip through these. We get a whole bunch of just people just getting hit by the blood. We get a lady in a sun bed.
In the tanning bed.
A tanning bed and...
Pans over to a steamer box.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, one of those really cool boxed steamer boxes.
Yeah, a box of it. I was right. There's a guy in a box for some reason.
Yeah,
I was looking. I didn't realize
box.
that was the gym. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yep. So the blood drips on his face. And then there's like... So Clark gets back on the elevator with the blonde because that is an important part. But then we cut back to the man in the steamer box has broken out. Like, he's ripped his way out of the box. So he's obviously now a demon.
The demon menace is spreading.
Cuts right back to the girl on the tanning bed, and we see these demonic hands slam the tanning bed shut on the woman.
Are they that hot?
Basically sizzling her like a George
Sizzling
Foreman
her
grill.
with UV light?
Yeah, so she's on a George Foreman grill now.
Anyhow, George Foreman.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we cut to a whole bunch of punks.
Yes.
Outside now, driving around. Like, the characters we don't know yet. Bunch of punks driving around, like, really fast around the city. It's a whole carload, so there's 4 of them in there. 2 guys, 2 girls.
Yep.
And I can only assume this is Jacob.
It is Jacob.
I don't think they say his name.
They do.
Oh, they do?
Yes.
So Jacob and the punks are driving around because they're punks. They drive fucking fast. And they go, we're introduced to Jacob.
In their slightly nice car.
Yeah, it was a BMW.
It's a nice
It was an
car.
old school BMW, which at that time would have been like quite a good car.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Why is that a punk car?
Don't know.
It would have been just one of the
They
guys.
could have stolen it.
It was Dario's.
Maybe.
Dario?
Dario.
Yeah.
I referred to Jacob as Dirk Squarejaw because he has a face like an Easter Island head.
I just called him like, that's good. I just called him like the punks. And now, the lady of the night and and Preggers bloke, Clark Kent, I locked in an elevator.
Yeah, so what we missed is a couple of sequences where
the demon gore.
The blood has dripped through to the electronics and just basically blacked out the entire...
And locked the building down. That's important.
This is very important, yeah.
Locked it down. So when the power goes out, the whole building just locks.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're stuck in a building with no power with a whole bunch of demon goop dripping down and party demons at the top slowly working their way down, transforming everyone.
That's exactly
That's basically
right.
all we have to say.
Yeah.
We see the dog. We're back to old Shaggy Dog. What was his name? I wrote
Davey.
Davey?
Yes.
Oh, Davey the dog. He's just like, he sees the goop coming in. He's like,
Starts growling.
Yeah, I have no bar with that shit.
Nah, that's not cool, man. That's not cool.
So the dog hates the blood, and that's fair enough.
We cut to the dad of the family that were watching the TV. He comes out. He notices the lights are out. He kind of basically shouts back. He's like, yeah, it's out everywhere. And he runs into the John, who had previously been with the blonde. And he comes out and he's like, yeah, there's some some weird stuff like dropping out of the roof, and it's clearly hit me, and it's a bit acidic. And we see that his fingers
basically burnt off.
His fingers are like burnt off, and he's just like, that's peculiar.
I like they cut to the security guard, and like he's on the phone because you can't use your phones with no power. Phones don't use power, and he's like, yeah, the building's locked down. We can't get out. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then he goes over to the front door and just shakes it for like 20 seconds. And I'm like, it's locked, dude. You already know it. Like,
there are 2 characters in this, and they are very small, like no characters. He is one of them because he's this big, burly, very tanned man whose shirt is buttoned down so far that his chest is exposed, and he is overacting like there's no tomorrow. So he's like, we can't get in. We can't get out. The phone!
We also have to mention that all of the dialogue is dubbed in this film.
Yes, this is...
it's just dubbed in by the actors, but it always gives it that weird kind of coolness. Like when you see some like the PT, the personal trainer, all his dialogue is so overdone. He's like, what do you mean? Yeah. And it's like so close to you it sounds because it's dubbed. It sounds like he's saying it into your face like 1 centimeter away. I love it. Anyhow, the dog, we cut back to old fucking Davey the dog. And guess what?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Ona comes out and she's like, Davey, what's wrong? And he's like, he's growling, and suddenly he starts to transform.
What?
And then we get this cool shot, this puppet dog shaking and shit. and its mouth does it. So the the demon teeth push out the dog's teeth. Mm-hmm. But then his like kind of whole jaw mandibles thing kind of protrudes out, and then it's got its own little glowing green eyes on his mouth.
He had like his glowing eyes on his gums. I'm like, that's strange.
So then someone just throws a dog puppet at the owner across the room, basically, like a stuffed dog, and she wrestled it. And it looked like the dog at one point was actually just, instead of attacking it in real life, was just humping her.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
So she's getting humped by this demon dog.
She points out as well, she makes a very good sort of note, which is important, is that there is the windows in this building
are bulletproof.
Do not open. So the windows do not open at all. You cannot get fresh air into your house. That's
with most high rises.
Yeah. So they're all also very thick, bulletproof glass. So you can throw whatever the fuck you want at it. It's not breaking.
Yep. In case bulletproof glass. In case there's a bird with a gun outside shooting at you.
We cut back up to the party. Party demons. They've now broken down the door. They're leaving the party.
They're like, this party sucks. Let's go.
Let's take this party to the rest of the high rise.
Yeah, everyone needs to party as much. So now we've got like a group of party demons.
Yeah.
And they employed that vibe from the first film where they put reflective, like a little bit of a reflective material, like paper, on their eyes, and they shine the torches on them so it looks like the demon's eyes are glowing. Very effective.
It is very cool, yeah. We get this brief shot of Clark and the blonde still in the elevator. She's still having a mental breakdown because she doesn't like enclosed spaces. She doesn't like elevators. She's freaking out and she needs to calm the fuck down. Clark
but she has a meltdown.
She does.
She's like a panic attack. Clark's just there going, oh, fuck.
I honestly thought he was going to kind of slap her at one point and she'd be like, just snap out of it.
Yeah, it would have been like that
very
1950s.
Sort of 1950s vibe. He's kind of like opened the doors slightly and they see all these people screaming. We get all this view of people running up the stairs screaming and they run past the elevator. He's calling out. He's like, guys, stop, help. But people are just running and he's like, oh, we're all alone.
But then
we find out why.
Everyone's panicking. They see the demons. The demons all run.
Yeah, we get this really cool slow-mo run of this massive group of demons with their reflective eyes. Sally trailing behind, like she's still being left behind.
So Sally's the queen demon. Like she's the first one. So she's always going, because the demons kind of like have no regard for the bodies they're in, so they fuck it up. Like, so she's the one that's always getting the most fucked up because she's been in it the longest.
She really is. And they get this glimpse. So Sally kind of stops at the crack of the doorway, and we get this glimpse of her like,
they're just like peeking through the elevator
crack. Oh
crack.
My god, that's ew.
But then like Clark Kent bloke, he's like, suddenly he realizes that his wife's alone. He's like, Karen, she's alone.
Yeah.
She's alone. Cut to Karen, Preggers Karen. And guess what?
Her name? I thought it was Hannah.
I don't know. I just called her Karen. Yeah, Preggers Karen.
Yep, she's upstairs. She hears some screaming.
But she kind of like goes into labor. I'm like, but you're not pregnant. You're only like 3 months pregnant.
What is it? It's like Braxton Hicks. It's like false labor.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Maybe the demon Scourge. The baby's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, the baby's
Fuck
like,
this shit.
I'm not okay.
I need a womb with a view.
Not gonna
we cut back to the gym.
Yep.
And the demons start, they pour in. So the gym mustn't be on the ground floor. Or has it gone all the way down now, you reckon?
I think they've made their way down. But so they've all decided that, the lights are out. We can no longer work in the lights out because, like, you can't see your cool, hot, masculine, modest muscle body in the mirrors. So they all kind of leaving a couple of guys left. They're like, nah, the gains. I can get the gains in the dark. It's fine. And then, of course, the demons come in and they start attacking these guys that are still working out. They hear it in the changing rooms where everyone else is. They come running out and they're like, let's get out of here. One of the pimp guy, he kind of throws the dumbbells. The PT. I'm so sorry. I just referred to him as dude. He throws like these dumbbells at them as well, which I thought was really cool.
But then they all kind of like, they kind of like, they fend off the demons for all the gym dwellers. They kind of like, we got to run. So they kind of run to this other area. But what I like, it showed them all running like in this corridor. But one of them weightlifting dudes just had a dumbbell in his hand, but he's just still running with it.
Hey.
And I'm like, clearly, it looks like it has no weight at all. It's
If
a
you
fake.
can,
Like, why would you keep holding a huge dumbbell as well? Like,
anytime. It's wait time, anytime.
and they get to the gym and they can't get out. The door's locked down.
And now we are introduced to who has become one of my favorite non-characters, is one of the gym girls who is she's like, we can't get out. We can't get out. We can't get out. And she's just like, she's
Panic.
She's all over this scenery. And for the rest of it, every time she's on, I love it. It's my favorite.
And then we cut down to the nerd waiting for Jake about the front. I just called him the nerd because he wasn't actual like, man, excuse me, or a well actually. Well, actually.
Great.
I had a well actually come into my work.
Of course you did. I get a lot of them into my work as well, but you know.
I actually had another dude came in and he was like, he's one of those people who thinks because I work in a comic shop, I just know all the answers. He wasn't a bad dude. He was just like, me and my brother, we've been like having this, I think he was on the spectrum a bit maybe. He's like, he goes, we're having this argument over, this and that. And he was asking me all these questions. He goes, I heard online that there is a king of the symbiotes. And I went, yep, king in black. And he goes, oh, so it's not fan fiction? And like, it was adorable. It was just like, I had all the time in the world for this dude. I answered all of his questions.
Well, that's good. I unfortunately get the complete
The well
opposite.
actuallys, they're the worst.
I get the well actuallys, but I get the you're a woman, so you clearly don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
which
yeah.
I don't like, but we get them back in our own little ways.
Excellent. By killing them.
Yes, exactly.
Anyhow, Jake is waiting outside like do and that's it. That's all we see. He's still waiting.
We know that he's outside waiting for Jake to drive. We cut back to all the gym people. They've all head downstairs into the parking garage because that's where you want to be.
Well,
some reason
they think that they can just get out through the garage because the front doors are locked. They've already worked that out. They're like, let's get out through the garage. I'm like, fair enough.
Yeah, sure. The demons are following by. They're holding the door shut.
They pick up a car and put it in front of it?
Yeah, they do. They literally pick up a car. They chuck it all down. One of the guys, he grabs an axe. So they're barricading the doors up. And they're still trying to ram. They're now trying to ram the garage door with the cars to try and get out.
Yeah,
and it's a no-go.
Yeah, this lady just keeps driving her car into the roller. These roller doors, mate, they are serious. They're like 4 inches of steel.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they're trying to keep Wolverine out.
Yeah. Pretty much.
No one getting out of this building. This is locked down. This is like Dread, that film.
Yes, it is. We cut to the kids.
No, we cut to a shot of the Snake Mountain toy from He-Man on a bed. And I was like, God, Snake Mountain. The original He-Man toy, like there. And I was like, yeah, this must be the kid. Of course.
He is adorable. So he's obviously heard all this commotion and he's sitting on his top bunk. He's holding a Sylvester plush toy and he's protecting himself
with a toy ray gun.
With a toy ray gun. What are the light up?
But then he's like, he hears all this shit going down, but then he goes out into the hall.
Yeah.
And I wrote in brackets in my note, idiot.
Yes. So he decides to leave the safety of his home, open the door, walks into the hall. And this is a very Poltergeist scene as well. I don't know if you noticed because it's all the mirrored Poltergeist 3.
3, yeah, the apartment one.
Also set in a high-rise building.
Yep.
With all the mirrors down the side. He walks to the stairwell and he sees the demons running. But rather than going back to his house, he runs up another flight of stairs.
Goes to the party room?
Into Sally's apartment.
But then he just kind of like... he hears a noise and runs out, and then it cuts to a cupboard where there's still 2 teens left that have not transformed.
Yeah.
And they are basically the singers of A-ha.
Pretty much, yeah.
And Cyndi Lauper.
That's right. So he now runs back to his apartment, but
he's
unfortunately, he's locked himself out.
What a fucking idiot.
And this whole time, the phone has started to ring. So the phone's ringing, rings through, stops.
But why is this... Was the phones always working? Because I could swear that they cut to some other people's ones that weren't working.
Yeah, so...
But the security guard's phone was working. Or was he on the...
Well, his phone cut out.
Ah, yeah.
Because then he was there going... Phone's not working.
Better shake the door.
Hannah, her phone's not working, so somehow this kid's phone's working. Out of all the apartments in the building, that phone's working. We get this cut to a woman in a phone booth. She's calling. It's obviously his mum. It's not happening.
Yeah, and then the kid like kind of runs and he hides in an air vent. And when we see blood, the demon blood like oozing in from the top of the air vent and dripping onto him.
Yeah, because this is really good because he's like hiding from the demons and it's there and it's sniffing around the air vent and he's just like, whoo. It even opens the air vent, sticks its head in, doesn't see him, fucks off. And he's like, oh, yeah, the kid's fine. Don't worry about it. Nah, there's blood dripping on him this whole time. So he gets dripped on,
but it cuts away. We don't see anything. Anyway.
No.
We cut back to the elevator duo, the Brains Trust.
Mm-hmm.
And we see the security guard. He comes up and goes, guys, got to get you out. And he dies instantly. He just gets attacked by a demon.
Yes. We cut to as well. We get this shot of...
He gets scratched on the face. He does. And then he just dies. I'm like, man, he must have a low immune system because, he just died from a scratch on his face.
Pretty much. It was pretty deep. It was like a full, face
you don't
scratch.
die instantly from that.
You don't.
He'll get shot in the face and they're fine.
That is true. We cut to this mum. So we do have this scene of the mum at the train station and she approaches her husband. She's just like...
This is the kid's mum and dad. Yeah.
He isn't answering. He's like, nah, don't worry about it. It's like, it's fine. She's like, it's fine. It's fine. Like, nah, it's not fine. She's like, no, we have to go home.
Then we cut back to the basement car park and for some reason now everything's on fire.
Yeah, I like this. So everything's
We've set everything on fire?
Yeah,
all the cars and shit?
That helps,
So they're going to burn the place up. But then we find the demons break in and they don't like fire.
No, but they are also very acrobatic and are able to jump over the fire with ease.
Yeah, there's like clearly little mini springboards on like the other side of the car. And they fly over like boing.
And doing some flips and
We
shit.
cut back to the punks. They're fucking still driving.
They're still driving.
They're driving around fucking punks and shit. And now that's it. That's all the punks do.
That's all we get.
We cut back to the car park because that's all we care about is where the PT muscle man is.
And you know where he is? He's pulling out a fucking shotgun from the boot of his car.
No, he just appears with a shotgun, basically, and a full bullet belt of shells. Yeah. And I'm like, excellent.
Great. I'm okay with this. And he's like, hey, put out the fire. We're all going to die in here. So everyone's like working on like putting out the fire. He starts like shooting some demons.
But there's no gore in the shots. It's that thing where he shoots and they fall over. Like the first demon's chunks came out of them. It showed them like just shooting like dummies that they'd made full of gore. And I really they didn't really have much of that in this.
Yeah,
well, maybe a bit disappointing.
Maybe the budget wasn't there this time around. It is a sequel.
Anyway, some more people rock up from the building. Some like non-demons. They get in there. They join the fight. It's basically a fucking...
It's pretty much like everyone that has survived has gone
their way
down to the parking garage.
And then we get PT Muscle Man. He gets on top of a car, gives a fucking big Braveheart speech.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, we got to survive. We got to do this. Everybody, get weapons. Find weapons. Look in cars.
Yeah, he's like, if you could barricade it, you barricade it. If you can find it, if you can use it as a weapon, you use it as a weapon.
We cut back to the fucking idiots and the lady and the husband in the elevator. And she gets grabbed. The lady gets grabbed from behind by one of the demons. And then the demon just lets go and leaves.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even hurt her. She's fine.
But is she, though? We get also this cut back to a scene where the mum and the dad of the kid are now driving back to the high-rise. And she's just like, I just got this feeling. He's like, no, it's fine. The kid is fine. She's like, no. My mother senses are tingling. I have to go to my child. So they're now on their way to the high rise.
And then basically, I'm just going to say it straight up. They're on their way to the high rise and then the punks just crash into them. So and then the most fake ass ambulance rocks up. It's a combi van that they've stuck a fucking light to. And a guy gets out that looks like he's got a milkman's uniform on. And I'm like, that is not an ambulance.
He's like, look, I was delivering milk on my way to the hospital and I figured that I could just give you
Did you notice there are a couple of shots in this film that are shook?
Yes.
Like a motherfucker. Like there was actual errors in their filming and they just still use them. Like their gate wasn't closed or something in the filming. And so it went like... Brrr,
yeah, I honestly thought it was my internet because I was having major internet issues.
Because it's on YouTube, this video, isn't it?
I watched it on Shudder.
So I think it's just on YouTube as well.
It is. You can 100% watch it for free on YouTube if you don't have Shudder.
But so there were some glitchy shake shots. I think there was 2 of them in the film which they just used. And I'm like, okay, cool. They didn't have that a replacement shot.
No, it's fine.
Anyhow, so yeah, the mum and dad and the punks crash. End of storyline.
Yes.
You know, you could have cut that whole fucking bit out. It didn't matter. The punks never made it. You know, they never made it to the party. They even got to the building. They didn't change the story at all. It didn't have to be in there. You could cut these scenes out of the film and no one would notice.
Look, it's very true. However...
Oh, you think there's a reason?
I will give a reason.
I don't believe you. You're just a woman.
I am a woman, yes. Listen to my theories. My womanly theories. So... The whole point is that the one dude that is outside, he's not noticed that the building is in lockdown and that there's chaos happening inside. These people are on their way to the building. So if everyone rocks up at the building, find that they can't get in, they're going to panic. They're going to contact the authorities. The authorities are going to come. People are going to be able to get into the building. They're going to be able to...
So this is showing their last bastion of hope has died.
So if they'd have all rocked up, we would have found out that there's something happening. They would have gotten the army, the Navy, the Navy SEAL, I don't know, whoever.
The Navy SEAL.
But because everyone's had this car accident and they've all just disappeared, that's it.
And yeah, we cut back to Prega's lady, and all of a sudden the door knocks on, and there's a kid like, "Hey, let me in! I'm that little kid from the other scene." And she's like, "Okay," and she opens the door, and all of a sudden, wow, it's a little kid demon. This looks great because no one has the balls to do little kid demons.
No, it's so true. Are we led to believe that the demons can act like normal people? Because this happens a couple of times.
It happens in the first film as well, heaps.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they are.
I don't remember
They're like Kandarian demons. They can trick you.
Oh.
So then we get this shot of this kid like scratching at the door. She comes in. There's this chase scene to the Benny Hill music with this little kid, a demon running after a Prega's lady, and it actually is just synth rock,
pretty much,
which is pretty sick.
And she uses her pregnancy strength to kind of keep him at bay. She kind of just like runs around and just like throws little obstacles in his way. It's fine.
Yeah, so they're fighting the kid. He's like, he's doing a real good job, the kid, acting as a demon. I thought it was great. He's got like the green face, he's got the teeth, he's got the eyes, he's all sweaty, his hair's wet. And all of a sudden he falls over and he starts squealing. Yeah. And then all of a sudden a goblin bursts out of him. This happened in the first film. So this is that thing. This is like the final form. So the humans they're like parasites who gestate inside of us and then burst out. The only problem, like the first film, is like the demon versions of themselves are fucking hopeless compared to the
human version?
Yeah. So this goblin, imagine a little green fucking goblin.
Looks like the cheddar goblin from Mandy.
Yeah. But this is the first kind of real gore we've seen with this little kid. And it's a little kid. He's on the ground and his chest bursts open. This thing pushes its way out. And it's just turned into the most budget version of Gremlins.
This was like as soon as I
laughed.
Because you sent me a screenshot at this point as well, a little bit later, and I'm like, okay,
what the fuck is that?
What is this? And then when I got through my watch and I saw this like demonic puppet ghoulish gremlin thing, I had to pause the film because I was just laughing so hard at it, and I laughed for a solid minute or so. Yeah,
it's pretty funny. So we get this scene of like the girl getting chased around by this puppet, which clearly doesn't have any legs, so it's just someone holding it underneath, like going, It didn't look very bad. It looked pretty good, the demon.
Yeah, this was fine.
I called it the goblin demon.
That's fine. I thought this was fun as well. And of course, like it's screaming the whole time.
Yeah, it's squealing.
It's like this weird child baby scream that's not like a baby's crying.
Yeah.
But it was weird and piercing and it was just like, what the fuck is this? It's fine.
So we cut back to the car park. There's a little girl there. Her mum starts to transform, into a demon. PT trainer grabs, basically just shoots her.
Yeah.
Off screen as well. And I'm like, get real.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's dead.
Sorry.
We cut back to Prega's. This is a little scene, a little interlude.
Yeah.
We cut back to Prega's. She throws a towel on the goblin.
Yeah, well, we all know that weird puppet demonic goblins, their one weakness is towels.
Yeah, towels. Goblin demons cannot handle a towel. Write that down in case you ever get in trouble like that. Anyway, she ended up, like, someone throws the fucking puppet at her. Literally just throws the puppet.
I laughed so hard at this as well because it was like,
that's the noise. Like, but it's not. They don't throw it. It's like it's just on a string.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's still in the standing up like stance. It's just like
a lift.
And she traps it in like a fold down bar or something.
No, so she traps it. So what it is that so she's fallen onto the bed it's a Murphy bed. So it jumps
look-
onto the bed. She lifts the bed up into the wall and she's like, my work here is done.
Yeah. And then, And then we cut to the elevator again. Fuck this elevator scene. So, Beefcake fucking bloke man, husband, he decides he's going to climb out the elevator.
He's manly.
As he's getting out the elevator, the prostitute lady, or the sex worker, she transforms into a demon.
Yeah.
He starts climbing up the fucking the steel cables, which we all know is actually impossible. And she climbs up after him. He kicks her off. She falls.
got some real good demons have really good upper body strength.
Oh yeah,
because he's just like, ugh, oh God, it's not arms day.
Well, they don't
and
care.
She's just like,
yeah. Well, she doesn't care.
No,
they don't
it's
care
fine.
about their bodies. They just destroy them.
It's just a vessel.
And he kicks her off. She falls back down into the elevator, and that's that scene done.
That's the end of that chapter.
Then we cut back to Prega. And then the goblin demon starts smashing its way out of this wall bed.
Yep.
And she conveniently picks up a vial of super duper acid, which is just laying on a table somewhere.
And we know that it is super duper acid because there's that skull on it.
Skull and crossbones.
Yep, that indicates that this is poisonous and please be careful.
So she pours a bit of acid on it. It sizzles and yells and stuff. And that's it.
And that's pretty much it. It's so strange. I think there was a point where she was trying to use like nail clippers on it.
Yeah,
was she trying to cut it? I don't know. There was
there was a bit where she was trying to cut it with like some garden shears and she just grabs its toenail or something. It's a bit stupid. Anyhow, bloke, he's still climbing up the elevator. He just gets to the top. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, because the elevator starts to move up.
Yeah, but it's insignificant.
But I don't know how and why.
Yeah, because there was supposed to be no power.
It's not insignificant, Dan, because by the time he gets to the top, his sleeves have ripped off and now he looks a little bit like Ash.
Yeah. But yeah, there was supposed to be no power in the building, but the elevator just starts working.
Do you feel that the demon was just in there going, come here, pull this motherfucker up?
Yeah, just using a pulley system. Anyhow, cut back to Preggers. Goblin demon jumps out of the picture now, and it's fucking like, I'm all fucking burned up now.
Now I'm really mad.
And fucking, say, super bloke.
Yep.
He comes in, and he's like, oh, my shit. Don't grab a sword. This is like the Gremlin scene. You know, like when the mum's getting attacked and Billy walks in and grabs a sword off the wall. He doesn't grab a sword. He grabs a fucking umbrella.
He does. And he impales it.
And he sticks it in the back of its head and then picks it up and smashes it in the wall and rams a whole umbrella through its face. Mm-hmm. This reminded me heaps of Brain Dead when they killed the rat demon thing like it's just this rubber puppet that's just getting rammed through and it's just got all gore inside of it. Anyhow, it's fucking dead.
It's done. She did it with the help of a man.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, yeah.
But they decide that they can't stay in this apartment. They got to get moving because they're trapped. Let's go somewhere else. So they run to the stairwell. They're preparing themselves. I think they're going to make their way up to the roof. And are they up or down? Because there's a point. This is an amazing scene where we've got the
shot of looking up the stairwell.
Yeah, so they're looking.
We don't know. There's no consistency of where the people are in these buildings.
Anyway, so we get this shot looking up the stairwell, so it's like this spiral kind of thing, and then of course the demons all put their head over.
They all look down.
And we get the reflection of the eyes, which looks absolutely amazing. But then the cherry on the top of that sequence is that the camera starts to sort of spiral.
Yeah, doing
as if it's going up
a
the
Hitchcock kind of like shot.
I was like, this looks
And we cut back to the car park. There's like it hasn't turned into a gore fest. It's just turned into a wrestling match.
Yeah.
All the demons in everyone in the car park are just wrestling.
Pretty much.
And then suddenly cars start flying. Like as in like just flying through the air and shit. There's
they're throwing cars at them.
They're throwing cars and out. There's a little girl trapped in a car.
Yes.
Yeah, everything. And then suddenly everything sets on fire again.
It's a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
A bunch more demons make their way into the garage and they start battling again. So the dad like chucks his daughter in the car. He starts fucking shit up. The PT guy, he goes to run and jump over the car, but one of the demon like grabs him by the balls and kind of like rips him off
why
the
don't
car.
all these people turn into demons? Like they're just wrestling now?
Yeah, it's so strange. So they do use the cars to fight. They're slamming them against the walls. It's basically like we've just got a bunch of cars.
It's just like, what ideas can we do
for
in
this scene? Oh, you're telling me if we don't use our whole budget, we won't get this budget for the next... Yeah, just wreck them, guys. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just a big mess of a scene. And then party bloke, he says to his preggers wife, he's like, I'm going to go stop the demons. You go up to the roof. I'm like, what the fuck are you going to do, mate? Anyhow, Preggers ends up like going up to the party room for some reason, in the teen party room.
She needs that piece of cake still. She's just fought a demon.
She's getting the cake.
Yeah.
Anyhow, bloke, he goes down. The demons are coming up the stairs now.
Yes.
Even though they were going down a second ago.
Yeah.
Up the stairwell. He, pulls a gas pipe open and then fucking lights it up as the demons get there. They all blow up. It's super effective.
It is super effective and super duper inaccurate. It made me so mad because it was like all this gas coming through and it was meant to be this like and it was just like a poof kind of thing. No. Hannah starts screaming. Preggers. She starts screaming. Clark comes running in to find that she was startled by the two survivors that have still been hanging
I'm sorry,
out.
I made her yell. It was me. I startled her. Acting like the other guy, yeah. So now they have two teens like with them. Who survived the fucking massacre. They all head up to the roof.
So they're running up the stairs. All of a sudden, the dude...
has rock climbing gear?
Yeah, he does. Clark
just
has his
all
rock
of a
climbing
sudden.
gear. Sure. One of the survivor dude, he sort of turns around. He's now a demon. He goes to attack...
This is one of the teens,
his girlfriend. But Clark, he's having none of it. It's getting late.
He just tosses him off the stairwell.
Floop. Straight off.
So we see this like dummy just falling down the stairwell. This is great. And you just see it go thunk and it's land on the bottom. There's no gore. It's just like it's like they're throwing a mannequin off.
Yeah, it's great.
So now we're just down to Preggers, cool guy, and the teen girl that was in the cupboard.
Mm-hmm. So down in the parking garage, Sally has woken up. So it looks like that the parking garage was a huge fucking misfire. Everything and everyone down there is dead except, of course, for Sally.
Demon Sally.
She's there.
Now she's making her way up to the roof.
She is. It's a long trip, but hey, she's pretty fast when she wants to be.
Anyhow, then
now that we're on top of the roof, Clark skewers a line. So he ties up his
he does some abseiling.
Throws it off the roof. And he sets himself up in the harness.
So they're going down to the next adjacent building, so they can go down into that and then get out because that's not locked down. Which took me ages to work out what they were doing.
Yeah. Sally at this point, she's up and she's walking. She's making her way up. The lady survivor, teen survivor, fucking hell, she's a demon. What are we going to do? Don't worry. Throw off the roof.
Just toss her off.
It was
just toss her off.
It's just fodder.
He dealt with both those demons by just throwing them off of shit.
That's how we deal with all our problems.
They abseil down the building. They're now on to the other building.
Yeah.
Demon Sally rocks up.
She does. We get this really
weird abseiling.
Yeah, she goes down like forwards, so face first.
It doesn't make sense. It's not real, yeah.
The thing, and I'm like, fucking hell, Sally,
so,
you're pretty good.
Demon Sally abseils down. Bloke, this is weird as well. He just comes up to her and just basically sticks a pole through her.
Yeah, he's found a pole just laying on the ground.
Because there's always just rods everywhere.
Yeah, I know. I'm always tripping over rods on the ground. He impales her real good, and that's the end of Sally.
Yeah, apparently. Suddenly, they break into this building. Suddenly, they're in a TV studio.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
So they're in a TV studio. They turn on, there's the spotlights. They're like, oh, it's the local video place in the building next door. They're next door.
So did this place have is this an insidious place which created the Demons TV show? That's what I got from it, because why was there conveniently a film place next door?
Well, not just that.
Because it all starts to do it again.
Yeah, but not just that. They're like, oh, it's rolling. The camera's rolling. It's filming us. Yeah.
Anyhow, Preggers starts to have her baby.
Oh, no.
And it's to synth rock.
This was so good. It's like, what?
Having a fucking baby.
Because at no point would you want to make this a very sort of like tense scene with no soundtrack and just screaming and anything. No, let's put some synth over it. I'm like, fucking dope.
So we get the baby's born. Luckily, it doesn't have an umbilical cord.
No, that's fine. It's also not a demon, so we're also safe. That's fine.
It's also got no. It's just a baby. So there. And then pole demon Sally rocks up.
Yeah, so Clark goes to take the baby somewhere. I don't know where. So he's walked off. And Preggers is
I'm just going to throw this baby off a building because that's all he can do to things.
So she's laying there, and of course she sees on the screen that Sally has walked onto set.
Yeah, because there's like a whole bunch of TVs with a camera, and they can see it's very confusing.
It's so strange. And then she's just like, "Oh my God, Clark! It's the baby. Sally's there. She's coming." And he makes her way out.
He gets ready into a fight stance. He's holding a baby.
With a baby. He's like, I'm going to fight you with this
baby.
baby.
And then he goes, hang on. It's blind. And I'm like, and now Sally's blind.
Yep.
Sally Demon is blind. I mean, I can only assume that he was referring to she's decomposed so much that her eyes aren't working anymore.
Quite possibly. So she kind of just she's just
and she dies.
Dead. She just lays.
I'm like,
lays
well,
on the ground
that was worth her being there for that last bit. And she just falls over and dies.
Yeah, and she Preggers gets up and she's like, "Oh, it's over." And fucking famous last words.
Anyhow, there's a shot on the screen. We can see that she died in front of the TV camera.
Mm-hmm.
And
three TV screens are showing the shot of dead Sally, and 3 TV screens are now showing the shot that we saw.
Is it Sally?
Before. Yeah, so the scene where Sally is she's running, she's gunning for the roof, she's gunning to get to them. So that scene is now playing on the TV monitors. Screens.
Yeah.
And so we're sort of under the impression that, it's fine. She's going to come out of the screen. It's going to start happening again.
Yeah, because we know that because we've seen the film. So there's no way fucking manly bloke would have any idea how the demons came out of the TV because none of them saw that. But he decides that, shit, we better smash all these TVs because they've got a demon on them.
Exactly.
And yeah, they do that. I don't know why he would do that, but obviously he read the script.
Also, I'd just like to point out, it would be really hard to break those screens. Do you remember those TVs?
Yeah, but they actually do it. He's actually got a hammer though.
Yeah, he fucking smashes
it. They've all got, those screens were all vacuums. So once you crack them, they go into themselves. So they actually did it. Anyhow, it's morning now. They walk out.
Yep.
Yay, it's morning.
They walk out of the building, everything's done and dusted, and they kiss, and...
They should probably go to hospital. She's just given birth.
Well, yeah, she's walking around like nothing's happened. And that baby's pretty big.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was a womb shaker.
And that's the end of that.
And that's the end of the film. Done.
Fucking
credits.
Hell.
And so my final thoughts are, what the fuck was up with that TV and shit?
Yeah.
That whole scene of I get that they wanted to do it might be a commentary on television.
I
don't know, or a commentary on the evil from the first film was so fucking evil that it manifested itself in reality, a la Wes Craven's New Nightmare. That's all I can get. That's all I know.
Yeah, look, a lot of it didn't make sense to me, and I just don't care.
The acting was stellar shit. It was that overacting, dubbed shit where it's just
that's my favourite kind.
Yeah, where people, they're you got to seem scared here. Oh my God! And it's just so cool. There wasn't enough gore. There was nowhere near enough gore that there should have been in the film. It should have excelled over the first one.
Yeah.
It came way under in gore for me. And that's all. If you've got a film that's about demons, that's all about how they gore you up and shooting them with shotguns and holding them off, there needs to be those gore scenes.
Yeah.
And they had that in the first one. The first one fucking had a helicopter fall through the roof. They turned the helicopter blades on and it cut all the demons. It was wicked.
Yeah.
I'm there was none. That's all this film needed to me. It just needed some gore ideas. It just didn't have it. I did love the fucking demon goblin scene. I liked heaps of the shots and that, but I feel you can just watch the first one because the first one had a dude in a muscle top and with a samurai sword killing demons to fucking hair metal.
That's true, and we all know hair metal is the best.
Hair metal is the metal.
The metal. It's fantastic. Yeah, look, this film had a lot of weird, strange plot holes and scenes that really played no real part in the film. But if you really think hard about it, it kind of does play a part in the film, but also still doesn't. Look, for what we got, I liked the effects. I like an overacting. Every cast member was obviously super hungry that day because they are fucking chewing the hell out of that scenery. The soundtrack. Oh my God.
Yeah, the soundtrack was amazing. Was wicked.
I finished watching it and I ended up putting the soundtrack on at work. So I get to work like a couple of hours before we open to do my job. And so it's just my music, whatever I want. I played the soundtrack so good. I actually really liked this better than the first one, and I'm not sure if it was just because of the mindset. Like, I was in a pretty good mindset when I watched that. Don't know what I was like when I watched Demons, but sometimes you don't enjoy a film to its full extent, but this one I really enjoyed, so definitely. What did you give it?
I gave it a fucking whatever, a W and a Gen special.
Oh, it's a Gen special. Why is it a Gen special?
Because I knew you'd like it, even though you're ignoring all its clear faults.
Hey, sometimes you just got to enjoy it for what it is. And that's why I gave it an F, because it is fun and dumb.
It is fun and dumb.
100%. So,
what are we doing next week?
Well...
Oh, no, not next week. The week after.
Yeah, that's right. So I was talking to someone. I can't remember who. What do you mean, oh no? How do you not like this film?
I watched it recently.
Oh,
but
no.
It's fine.
Would you like me to... I can
No,
choose something.
it's fine. Go.
I can panic choose.
No.
Okay. We are watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Wow.
Twa. Also from 1986.
Same time.
Same time. I'm so excited for it.
Excellent.
Yes. So anyway, thank you guys. You have been listening to TerrorVision Horror Podcast with Dan and Jennifer.
Spoilercast.
We are available on all major podcasting services and also on the YouTubes. But no matter where you choose to consume us, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment or a review. Make sure you share with all your friends. You can interact with us on both Facebook and Instagram at TerrorVision Pod. It'll keep you up to date with upcoming episodes, trivia, and, of course, memes that are definitely 3 years old by now. We also have an email if you don't want to access us through any other social media, and it is terrorvisionpod@gmail.com.
And until next week, may all your dreams
be nightmares.